Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I am Miss Bushra Tanveer. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School, Taif. This is social study class for grade 8. This is our first video. In this video, we will discuss about the social study chapter 4. After today's lesson, dear students, you will be able to understand the arable farming and also you will be able to understand the text which is given on this in this book on page 34, 35 and 36. After the explanation of these pages, dear students, you will be able to find out the answers of the question which is given in the exercise question 1 and 2. Dear students, here I will share you the book of social study for grade 8. This is Oxford Book 3 Secondary Social Studies for Pakistan. You can see the image of the book on your computer screen. Dear students, now we are going to start our chapter 4 from our book of social study. First 3 chapters from our book is not included in your syllabus. As you know that after first term you will study the syllabus of class 9th. So these 3 chapters are not included. These 3 chapters are omitted from your syllabus. Now we will start chapter 4. The title of this chapter is Agriculture and Main Crops. First of all, I will read the first paragraph. The subheading of this paragraph is arable farming. Arable farming is about producing food. Arable farming means growing crops, and it is probably the most important type of farming, as it is quite possible to live fairly well on vegetables and grains alone. Dear students, arable farming is the type of farming. As you know that there are many types of farming. Arable farming is the type of farming. The size of farms varies from 1 hectare or less in some parts of the world to vast areas of thousands of hectares in the USA. In the next lines is discussed about the size of the farms. Hectare is a unit which we used for the measurement of farms. There are also two vast areas of thousands of hectares in the USA. The size of farms are small, means less than 1 hectare, and also vast areas of thousands of hectares, means there are big farms in USA. Of arable crops, grains, wheat, barley, oats, millet, sorghum, rice are the most important for basic food. Grains like wheat, barley, oats, millets, sorghum. Sorghum is also the one types of grain. All these are the basic food for the people, means that these are the basic needs for the people. Apart from rice, the processes for growing these grains are very similar, though the differences between the peasant farmers and the great commercial mechanized farms are vast. Except rice, the process for growing crops is very easy, but the process for growing the crops of rice is little bit tough or difficult. So in these lines we have to discuss the differences between farming by peasant and commercial mechanized farming. The pictures overleaf illustrate the differences. I'll show you the pictures. In that picture, you have to see the differences very clearly about the peasant farming and commercial mechanized farming. Let's move to next paragraph. The main agricultural food products in the world are, in random order, rice, maize, wheat, pulses, soya, millet, sugar, groundnuts, tea, coffee, and cocoa. Crops like wheat, coarse grains, and rice are relatively cheap, while crops such as tea, coffee, cocoa, fruits and vegetables are much more expensive. The most valuable crop in money terms is coffee, generally cotton and rubber also are important cash crops. Dear students, in this paragraph we also have to discuss about the basic food, or we can say the basic crops: rice, maize. These crops are low in price, while tea, coffee, fruit and vegetables, these crops are costly and much more expensive. The most valuable crop in these crops is coffee. Cotton and rubber are also important cash crops. Dear students, let's move to the picture. In this picture, you can see the differences farming by the peasants and commercial mechanized farming. On the left picture, you can see that more than 8 people are working in the field, while on the right picture you can see the one machine, which is called tractor, is working in the field and harrow the land. It means that machine can do more work as compared to these 8 or 9 people. Let's move to the next picture. In this picture you can see the same difference is over there. In the left picture you can see the man is trying to get rid of weeds from the field and also try to destroy the pests from the field, while on the right picture you can see that helicopter is used to spray in the field to kill the pesticides or insects. So there is a great difference between farming by peasant and commercial mechanized farming. As you can see that the helicopter will do this work within minute, while this man have to spend lot of time for this work. Now come to the next picture. As the same difference is over here, on the left picture you can see that 10 to 12 people are harvesting, while on the right picture you can see that one machine is working in the field, and this machine can do more work, means this machine can do the work more than 100 people. So there is a great difference between farming by peasants and the modern machine farming, we can say the commercial mechanized farming. Means that this machine harvests this field within no time as compared to the people. Dear students, let us move to the next heading of this chapter. In this heading we will discuss about the rice. Rice is the biggest single crop in the world. With half the population of the world, especially in East and Southeast Asia, dependent on it as the staple food. We know that a primitive kind of rice was grown in the subcontinent at least by 3000 BC, but today's varieties are much improved. Rice is also the biggest single crop in the world. Half the population of the world dependent on it as a staple food. It means that this is also the basic food for the people, and this was primarily grown in the subcontinent at least 3000 BC. Now in these days we can get the varieties of rice, means in the world we can get more varieties of rice. Now come to the next paragraph. It is not easy as to grow rice as most other grains such as wheat and barley. These are planted in the ground and remain there. They are harvested as long as conditions are reasonable, not too hot nor too cold, and with a moderate rainfall. They will grow almost anywhere, though of course better in some places than others. Rice is more difficult. It is said that it will be grown only with its feet in the water and its head in the hot sun. Dear students, in this paragraph we have to discuss about the rice, means how to grow the rice. It is not very easy to grow the rice than other grains such as wheat and barley, because rice needs more water, or we can say the rice needs plenty of waters to grow. So that reason we have to say that the growing rice is very difficult or a very tough job. Let's come to the third paragraph. The rice seeds are planted tightly packed in the wet nursery beds, while the fields paddy where they are to grow for harvesting are flooded with water. This means that small plots, normally with mud banks all round to keep the water in, are watered by the complicated system of channels. When the seedlings are 20 to 30 centimeter high, they are pulled from the nursery plots and replanted in the flooded paddy. This is a slow and tiring job, with the planters, usually women, bent double all day. The rice grows to a height of 1 to 1.25 meters and needs tropical or subtropical sun to ripen it. It is then threshed as the other grains. Now in this paragraph we have to discuss about how the rice are grown in the land. First of all, the rice seeds are planted in the wet nursery, and later on they are pulled from the nursery plots and replanted in the flooded paddy. Flooded paddy means that the land which is full of water means the water which is reasonable for the rice. So when the rice is ripened, then it will be harvested, then the other grains. Means there is also used a machine to thresh the rice field. Dear students, I think you have to understand each and everything from this paragraph which I have explained you from your book. Now come to the exercises question answer. First of all, we have to see the first question from our exercise. Let's read the first question. Why are there no large paddy rice fields as there are for other grains? So the answer of this question, there are no large paddy rice fields as there are for other grains because paddy rice is more difficult to grow as compared to other grains. It is said that it will grow only with its feet in the water and its head in the hot sun. To keep its feet in water for a long time until it is harvested is not an easy job. It requires a large quantity of water and a leveled field having capability to hold water in it. The second part of this question, second paragraph. Secondly, to grow rice seeds are planted in wet nursery beds. When the seedlings are 20 to 30 centimeter high, are pulled from nursery plots and replanted in the flooded paddy. This whole process is too slow and requires a lot of hard work. That is why no large paddy rice fields are there. Dear students, let's move to the second question from the exercise. First of all, I will read the question. Find out what you can about basmati rice, which is one of Pakistan's important exports. What shape is the grain? Why is it so much sought after all over the world? Now the answer starts from this line. Basmati rice grain is sword shaped, having creamy white color. It grows best in the fertile land of Punjab, foothills of Himalayas in Pakistan and India. Apart from the so-called wild rice of Canada and northern USA, it is most expensive of all varieties of rice, costing from 1.50 pound to 5 pound, rupees 450 to rupees 750 a kilo. It has a long, white, fluffy grain which expands to almost double its length when cooked. Now the second part of this question. It is highly nutritious with a high calorie content as well as vital vitamins B1 especially, as well as important element for health such as iron, thiamine and selenium. On top of all these, it is an excellent fragrance flavor. It is used as an accompaniment to any dish, and in South Asia as well as the West, it is also used for pudding. Dear students, now we have to discuss about the short question from this topic which we have discussed in this video, in this lecture. The first question number 1, what do you know about the arable farming? Answer: arable farming is about producing food. Arable farming means growing crops, and it is probably the most important type of farming, as it is quite possible to live fairly well on the vegetables and grains alone. Dear students, I think from this lesson you have to clear each and everything. Now for today's homework, you have to read page 34, 35 and 36. Learn and write question 1 and 2 which are done in this lesson. See you in the next video. Goodbye.